Welcome, Capricorn, to your guided healing reading. I am Sachi, and today we are going to be doing your guided healing. So we are going to take a look into where you are currently on your healing journey, anything that's keeping you stuck or any hurdles that you're facing, how to get you unstuck or overcome those hurdles, and then some general advice on healing whatever it is that you are going through. All right, let's hop into it. This is what came out in the cleansing ceremony. We have the Nine of Swords in reverse, the Three of Pentacles in reverse, the Wandering Ghost, and the Three of Swords. So it seems very clearly something very painful occurred in the past. The Nine of Swords in reverse, it feels like you have gotten over the worst of it. Even though with the Three of Swords, there is still something that is bringing you pain and heartbreak. But with the Nine of Swords in reverse, this card represents, it's like a certain spirit that haunts woods of mothers who have had their children taken away from them, or their children who have passed, or mothers who have accidentally done something to their child that caused them to perish. So it's a very dense, dark energy here, but because it's in reverse, it feels like you are releasing that. It's like here she is screaming, right? So loud. It's like a certain kind of banshee almost, even though it's a different type of spirit here. And one of the things I always get from this card is that she's very open and honest about her emotions. She honors her pain. And, you know, part of it is, you know, screaming and letting it out of you so that it doesn't stay inside, right? When you're feeling that kind of agony, you do have to get it out of your body. But because it's coming out in reverse, it is telling me that you are no longer feeling that way necessarily. So again, it feels like the worst is sort of behind you. There could still possibly be some that you need to get out of your body. With the Three of Pentacles in reverse, it feels like whatever this, you know, big pain program of the past, it looks like it influenced your work. Maybe you're not really focusing so much on group activities or making money or anything like that. We do have the Wandering Ghost here, and the Wandering Ghost I actually have connected to the Angelarium. So let's just see more about it. Yeah, stuff left the Angel of Verdancy, which is all about, you know, how there are harmonious ecosystems going on, right? It's like everything is sort of has its place. You know, the trees grow to provide oxygen and shelter, and you know, the elk graze to keep the area, you know, what it is, right? To keep it sort of tamed. And it has a lot to do with you know, the way that different pieces interact and how that sort of growth is happening. So with that coming out and the Three of Pentacles, it is telling me things are a little bit topsy-turvy, like you might not be in the most harmonious ecosystem. And again, with the Three of Swords, there is some kind of heartbreak or sadness or pain that is still around, even though it does seem like the worst is behind you. With Dragonair using Slam, Dragonair is a dragon type, and dragon energy represents clearing very dense energy. And with Slam, the Slam is an electric type attack, which tells me has a lot to do with the solar plexus, your sense of self, your willpower, and things of that nature. So it does seem like that is where a lot of the density needs to be cleared, is in that chakra. And I will say, you know, since tapping into your energy, you know, right when I was ready to do the reading, it kind of went like zoom. So I do feel, you know, some of you may be a little bit more like you don't have a lot of energy to expend. Again, with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, it's like there's not a lot of energy that you want to be putting towards like work and projects and things right now, because clearly there's some healing to do, right? And that's why we're here. So, all right, Capricorn, let's take a look what's going on currently in your healing journey. We have the Seven of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. So Yeah, there is some mental programs that are draining you. There could be someone who's trying to puppeteer your mental state. The Seven of Wands is literally someone who's sort of in this mental anguish because of things that are going on in their third eye. So there can specifically be someone who's trying to pull the strings, but it can also just be, you know, your lower self sort of doing this to create that sort of mental state. And with the Five of Pentacles in this deck specifically, it's this energy of like, it's too late. It's too late for XYZ. It's like, this is a story of a guy who, you know, this woman loves him and she does so much for him and stuff, and she ends up perishing. And then once she's gone, he realizes how great she was and how much he loves her. And then so he goes to her grave to offer something, and she's like, what? Really? Now you notice? You know, after we can not be together sort of thing. So it does feel like whatever the situation is, there's kind of this energy of like regret, or again, it's like too little too late is what I'm hearing. What's the light energy here? To the Five of Pentacles, we have Corellia using calm mind. So it looks like you are looking to have someone else to bring you peace of mind. Fairy type represents soul contracts. So it looks like you may be really trying to calm your mind, and maybe the way that you think you're going to calm your mind is by, you know, trying to make something up. Not like a lie, but to make up for something that has happened in the past. But again, it does kind of seem like you're looking for somebody else to bring you that peace of mind. You may be working a lot with crystals at this time, because as you can see, Corellia is surrounded by crystals. They look sort of amethyst. There's also a blue crystal. I forget that shape. I guess diamond. That is a diamond shape. For that parallelogram diamond, but yeah, I know that's not the word for it, but anyway. All right, it says it has psychic power that enables it to distort the space around it and see into the future, and it's called the emotion Pokemon. So again, it seems like you are very much in your emotions. It's talking about, you know, psychic power that's distorting space in order to see into the future. So like, space is being distorted in order to look into time. And there can be, you know, energy of perhaps maybe seeing a psychic that is distorting space to see into the future in some sort of way. Let's see. What's the... I almost said what's the future, but what's the shadow here? We have Execute using Ram. So it's the egg Pokemon. And so Execute has to do with like sort of doing it now, right? It's the execution of things. And Ram I always take as Aries energy, which can be a little, it can be a little bit impulsive when it's coming out in the shadow, right? Because Aries energy wants to do. So, you know, part of in the shadow is just like, I want to do it. Just do it sort of thing. And again, it's kind of like the way, maybe the way that you want a calm mind is to have a psychic, or you yourself psychically looking into the future. But again, it's like distorting your current space instead of actually like taking the action. It's like you want to see it first, but it's like you have to take the action in order to have that timeline. Okay. It says, though it may look like just a bunch of eggs, it's a proper Pokemon. Execute, communicate with others of its kind via telepathy, apparently. So yeah, there's a lot about psychic energy and telepathy and things like that. So if you are not working with someone who's like helping you bring a calm mind, you might want to be careful of who's sort of pulling the strings here, okay? Going right to Five of Pentacles, we have See Through. Yeah, again, it's like, right, it's like she can see through what's going on here. Even though he is offering something, it's like this is such an empty gesture because it's too late. It's like she's already, you know, beyond the grave basically, and whatever he's doing, it's just too late, right? And Muna here using See Through, this is the third eye. So it does look like your third eye is sort of able to see through the empty gestures that are occurring here. It says, this Pokemon appears before people and Pokemon who are having nightmares and eats those dreams. And it's the Dream Eater Pokemon. Yeah, so it does seem like you are trying to really try to take care of your mental health a lot right now, because it is talking about eating the nightmares. So you might be protecting yourself from people who are trying to bring in nightmarish energy, anything that's trying to control your mind. You know, you're trying to calm your mind. You're trying to use telepathy. You're, you know, using your own psychic powers if you're not seeing a psychic and things like that. All right, let's see what any issue, or I'm hearing what distortion. So let's just see what that is. The, you know, blockage was keeping you stuck. And again, I heard distortion. That wanted to go out with quite a bing bang. And it went right to my astrology deck as well. Nine of Cups, interesting. So this can be grid work, which is literally all about space. So again, we have that space is being distorted by the way that you are looking at time, which is a very, very interesting message, because the fourth dimension, right? We live in the 3D reality. That's the XYZ plane, which allows me to move things through, right? But we are also moving through the fourth dimension, supposedly, which is space-time, which is space movement over time. And so the blockage here is literally space coming out stuck. The Nine of Cups in this deck also represents like delusion equal reality, basically. It's the story of the little match boy who, you know, his family's really poor. He has to sell matches on the streets, and each time, you know, it's winter, he's freezing, so he lights a match to keep himself warm. But each time he lights a match, he knows that he's going to be able to bring less money home to his family. But every time that he lights a match, he sees this like magical place, and he's going to, you know, this magical castle and things like that. And so he keeps lighting the match to go back. And, you know, he has one match left, and he lights it so he can go back to this castle. But he knows that his family is, you know, not going to have any money. And the queen of the castle says, like, why don't you come with me and stay with me instead of going to your family? And the little boy decides to do that. But in the story, you realize, you know, the narrator is, you know, saying that's when the little boy, you know, passes. And so there is this definitely transitionary energy here. But again, it can be a little bit delusional of what this transition is. It's like, oh, you may think that, you know, you're going to this big, beautiful, you know, castle with this queen, but really in space, in 3D reality, something else is happening. So there's sort of this interdimensional energy here that's part of the distortion. Okay, let's see what's the light energy. Going right to, it hit Muna using see-through and then went to execute Ram. So we have Finian using pound. So pound energy I always take, it can be like money stuff. It can also be weight stuff. But for me, it feels sort of like emotional baggage. It's the emotional baggage that's causing the distortion. And it has to do with, again, you can see through the veil of whatever, but again, there's some distortion about the way space is being interacted with in order for you to access different timelines. It says, the line running down its side can store sunlight. It shines vividly at night, and it's the wingfish. And I almost said it about the Nine of Cups because, again, there is that sort of delusion energy here, or illusion. It's very Piscean, and then we have Piscean energy coming out here. So whatever, and like I said, it hit my astrology deck, this one did, so I definitely feel a lot of like Pisces stuff in the chart. Obviously, we have Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Jupiter is retrograding, which I believe might go back into Pisces. Don't quote me on that one. But Neptune and Pisces can be a lot of, you know, distortions from other realms and things like that. It is talking about being able to store sunlight and then shining vividly at night. So again, it can be this energy of like, oh, I have enough light that I can, you know, travel through, like, the thing is, it's true. You can have enough light to be able to travel through darkness. But again, it feels like, again, that's that, it's like the match, right? The match of the little match boy, when that light is there, it's showing a distortion of what is actually happening. When in 3D reality, he's actually slowly, you know, passing away. This is kind of like definitely a little bit of a, you know, more morose reading, Capricorn. Not that you can't handle some denser stuff, but again, it's like this false light, this little boy is thinking that, yeah, that he, you know, is going somewhere, but in 3D reality, he's actually passing away. So again, there is this weird distortion of light and how that light is being carried into the shadow. And with mine in here using negative discard, again, there's like this aspect of not having the proper void almost. Mine is the negative ion Pokemon, which represents the negative polarity. That is the yin polarity. That is the receiving polarity. And with negative discard, it seems like there are some negative things that you are trying to ignore. Some void spaces that you're trying to ignore. So again, it's like using this light instead of, I want to say, it's not that you're not doing shadow work, but again, it's just like a distorted light that makes you think you don't have to, how do I want to put it, deal with the actual 3D reality of what is happening. It says, exposure to electricity from Minen and Plusle promotes blood circulation and relaxes muscles. Okay, so there could be, it's talking about muscle relaxers and things like that. So part of this Nine of Cups can be, you know, utilization of various substances and things like that in order to access these states of consciousness and this sort of thing, which would of course be a misuse of shadow, and can also bring false light. Very, very interesting messages coming in for y'all. Yeah, so in the extended, we are going to see how to overcome this, and I also feel like more information about that is actually going to be popping up, and then we will also get some general advice on this. But let's take a look at one of the astrology cards since I wanted to pop out. Let's see what it is. We have Cancer, I feel. So again, a lot of water stuff. I did feel Piscean energy earlier, but with Cancer, I feel a lot of this has to do with lunar distortions of the emotional body. So it's like, yeah, what are you feeling? Are these, you know, drug or substance induced delusions that again are distorting the space that you're in so that you can see through time? Let's see, is there another one that wants to come out? Okay, yeah, I saw Leo, I will. So again, a lot of it has to do with the willpower, which is the solar plexus, which is also the negative discard. So there can be this energy of not wanting to understand the void of the solar plexus, of the willpower of the self. And some of that can be a wound passed from the mother's lineage here with Cancer there. We have first house, the body, which is interesting. For me personally, I take the first house as the energetic body. It's like your auric body, whereas the second house is the actual physical body. So with the first house being the body, again, this feels like an energetic body issue, and it seems like even with the yellow here, like it's part of the solar plexus area of the energetic body that is the issue. And with South Node, life's debts in reverse, yeah, this is a past life issue of a debt that has not been paid. And again, with here, right, it's like you could be trying to do something for someone, but, you know, again, it could be from a different lifetime or whatever it is, but it does seem like there are some, yeah, past life. South Node has a lot to do with like your karmic gifts and your karmic gunk. This definitely feels more gunky than gifty, even though the psychic aspect is obviously a gift. But it does seem like a karmic debt that has not been paid in terms of the energetic body of the self, of one's own ego, one's own willpower, that is also connected to your emotional body in the mother lineage. So very interesting messages coming through here. I do feel like maybe I want to pull one of these, since we did have Cancer come out, which is also, you know, moony stuff. So let's see what Mother Moon would like to say to bring us into the extended. Look at the bigger picture in reverse. Yeah, it feels like maybe you're focused too much on things that it's hard for you to sort of zoom out and see the bigger picture of what's happening here. Which again, it does seem like a karmic debt that hasn't been paid. And part of it is literally a debt that needs to either be paid or cut out or deleted, whatever it is, so that it is not influencing your auric body anymore, because it's siphoning from your solar plexus. And that's where a lot of these sort of not the greatest emotions, you know, come from, and maybe even wanting to numb them. So anyway, in the extended, we are going to take a look at what we can do to overcome this and sort of like readjust one's vision from this distortion, and then we will look into, of course, some general energy on healing this. So if you would like to follow me there, the link is in the description box below. It is available for Eagle and Phoenix members on SachiTheSeer.com. That's right, I have changed my name. And yeah, so if you're interested in that, you can go to plans and subscriptions if you're not already a member. And yeah, the link is in the description box below, and I hope to see you there.